I've never enjoyed the concept of heroes because yes, it champions the people that are doing these great things, but it also makes people as themselves seem weak and they need to be saved. And I could say never. In my childhood, I idolized heroes. Now the concept of it seems off to me. I mean, I can't necessarily say it's bad, but trying to paint a picture that is so perfect and pure, makes all the right decisions, always has people's best intentions at heart, always does the right thing. It's so far from what is real and what can actually happen and what actually does happen. Because I mean, a lot of people in human history that we so-called call heroes have some major skeletons in the closet and are just championed by revisionist history. Like they're not the images that they are portrayed in aren't real.
Yeah.
You know, George Washington is considered a hero. And
is he? Right.
Yeah, he's
of course he is. I mean, he's on the $1 bill, and of course.
Man, we know some of the horrible things that he's done.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like I don't like the term because I feel like it's a term for something that really does not exist. I think there are great people that have accomplished great things, but I feel like championing them as a quote unquote hero is putting a pressure on them that they shouldn't have to try to aspire to, because again, it doesn't exist.
I wouldn't say it's a negative thing outright. What I would say, it's supposed to be, from the way I see they're templates in a sense. Like, these are the outlines of what great people do and what amazing people can do. And again, as a child, when you don't really have, I think you're supposed to have it from your parents, but we all know a lot of parents don't raise their kids. Those things are meant to be outlines and templates for you to build yourself off of, in regards to, like, with Kobe Bryant being a role model, like his work ethic and his drive is supposed to be things you can take from him to apply to yourself. You don't take everything from him, but he can be your role model and your hero because he does a lot of positive things that can help you out. I think heroes to me are supposed to be like a plate of ingredients that all these people bring great ingredients to the table, and you as a person to become a whole human being can take different things from different people to help you become a whole person. And then as an adult, you're supposed to have yourself and your ideologies and things built. They can change over time as people change, but for the most part, you're supposed to have yourself built based off of the role models and heroes you had growing up. They helped you become who you are.
Yeah, they're aspirational and inspirational in some sense. Yeah, right. I agree. And Kobe Bryant's a good example.
Right. And I think that's where a lot of modern day people go wrong, is that they take their role models and make them, and like Otis said, they see them as trying to take the entire package from them. Like even copying what got them to become heroes in the first part, when you're supposed to, you can take parts of what somebody says and believes and not take the whole thing. Because again, like you said, people are flawed and people have skeletons and shit.
Yeah.
But everybody
100%.
does. It's the whole thing.
100%. Yeah. But so I think also, here's another thing you have to remember too. Hero, if you follow someone's story, whether it be a movie, anime, manga, whatever, that was the original hero. That just following a character that we wanted to know their adventures and everything. That's all a hero was. They didn't have to be good or righteous. They were just the protagonist we were following. And I think that's kind of how I see heroes. It's someone's story that I care enough about, that I can learn from and emulate in the ways I see fit. To myself today, personally, the reason I love comic books and anime and all those things so much is because growing up, those were my inspirations. That's what I actually wanted to emulate, was watching Batman. I wanted to be like Spider-Man, those type of people. Those were my heroes, and I wanted to be like them. So I think heroes do have a place. The label may be a little outdated, fair enough, but I think having role models in some sense and being able to glean what you need from them is wildly necessary.
Yeah.
I also think there's a difference between a role model and a hero. Like there's a reason why those are two different terms.
They are, but that's more so, to me, I think they're very synonymous to me personally. There's not too much of a difference in regards to, they're both individuals you think highly of that did amazing things. Granted, it depends on, like, if you're looking at hero in the sense of like a superhero, but just the word hero, I see them as being very synonymous with the role model, because you're kind of doing the same things, literally the same things with them. that much of a difference to me personally, from my understanding of the two terms.
Do you think a hero has to be more active or engaging as far as doing something
No, I don't think role models or heroes need to be.
No, actually, Otis. I'm asking Otis.
Yeah, I do feel heroes have to be active and engaging. Role models just do good things. Right. Heroes have to be rescuing something. They have to have a cause. I feel like that's also a part of what a hero is too, is actually having a cause and serving it as well. And I mean, again, another thing is outdated. Like having your whole life attributed to a single cause, I feel like is another thing that we shouldn't do as people. Like you should never just be one thing, have one agenda, one goal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I saw a video. I sent it to Craig a little bit ago on Instagram, in which a guy was kind of breaking down what he believes a large problem with human beings in the world is in general, is that people raise their children under one banner or one identity. So rather than be like, I'm Black, I am American, I am this, you do that. His point was that you do that, and then those people then believe that those singular identities that they're raised underneath are the best thing, and you think lower of other people. Mm-hmm. His head, it was like, if you just raise people to be people and acknowledge there are differences between us, and that all causes are equal and things like that, and you kind of work on them having more than just that one self-identifying identity. I just said that twice. That makes no sense. But having just that one identity, then people would just be better people in general.
I agree. I agree that you should have, diversify your portfolio, basically. Yeah, Of course. I also think that people should figure things out for themselves in life, like regardless of how good your parents are. And hopefully everyone's parents are great. Parents are wonderful, wonderful people. But I think people take the time, will in their life, take the time to figure out what they want, not just what they were told to think is the right way to approach things.
All right.
There's that quote from Viola Davis where she says, basically, we're all born in somewhat of our true selves or true form. And then over time, very early on, we're imprinted by so many things. We're imprinted by our parents, imprinted by our friends, imprinted by TV shows we watch and books we read. And we kind of veer away from what our true things we may think about. And then as we get older, we start to realize, you know what, this is how I feel about something, or you figure things out better and you kind of come back to who you actually are. And I think that is true. We go through a long period, especially as you go through adolescence, like middle school and high school, where all you're consumed with is figuring out how to please others for the most part. Mm-hmm. Even maybe in a good way, you try to figure out how to please your parents or please your girlfriends, boyfriends. And then you realize, this is all BS. What do I want? What's good for me? And doing your own thing.
A question I have for y'all then, is something I thought about. Us obviously all being Black men, and we are all very much so pro-Black and loving ourselves and the people of our community. Do you feel like you struggle at all, or have struggled in the sense of having that Black pride and promoting your people, but also making sure that you're being equal and unbiased and not just doing what people have done to our people in the past, as far as just saying Black people are better than everything else, or being equal to certain things? And I say that because we see it a lot with modern day representation, in which, although Black people are still underrepresented, I feel like in a lot of stuff, we've gotten a lot more representation in other cultures. And I feel like we should get more in other cultures. But again, I feel like me saying that, or saying that this person shouldn't be Black and this person should remain to their native character or even be somebody else, then you kind of get that representation of like an Uncle Tom or somebody that's not for your people. Like the fact you don't want your people to dominate everything, but also want equal opportunity for everybody, is kind of that weird balance you feel there.
I can see where the conflict can come from with that. Like in having pride in yourself, but still wanting to make sure that other cultures are represented and things of that nature. I've never really had an issue with it because I don't know. I try to make sure that I am a person that is as knowledgeable as I can be of things, of cultural differences, and understanding that, there are things that you might not necessarily realize are offensive to other people. So you have to talk to those people to try to find what those things are.
All right.
And I feel like if you maintain that, it's easy to not go along that balance, even if like some of the crowd is saying that you are over that line. And it's like, yeah, like, oh yeah, you thinking that Asian people need to be represented? You're an Uncle Tom too, but the Asian version. I don't know how that works, but I see stuff like that all the time. Like,
Uncle Lee.
Yeah, I guess Uncle Lee. I think that might be racist in itself to say that, but I mean,
of course it is. I said it.
But yeah, like people, the norm, the meta, the universal idea that people have of what it is to be black can I guess kind of get skewed. I just think that we us as a people just need to be in a position where we recognize that our culture matters as well as all other culture. That just makes sense, because the only way you can truly have that freedom, that equality, is if everybody's there and not just one particular group. Because I mean, this is going on a whole other tangent. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, you just got to be accepting of other people's cultures and seeing how those cultures can benefit yours and vice versa, how you can benefit theirs.
Mm-hmm. And real quick before you go, Ethan, I say that because recently in my Native American history class, there's a movie we watched that was recounting just the history of R&B and rock music. Just like, well, I think it was more so rock music than R&B, but part of it was obviously a lot of people know that African Americans, in regards to slavery being the origins of a lot of this type of music, like it started with Negro spirituals getting into soul or art, the blues, and then kind of transitioning out. But one thing that this movie was accounting for is that it's a combination of African American and Native American music. When you look at, like, if you just listen to like a blues song or an R&B song, and then you play that next to a traditional Native American song, it sounds not exactly the same, but there's a lot of elements that overlap there. And the movie was kind of getting into how they feel like Native Americans are underrepresented in stuff like that, and how obviously Black people get a lot of accreditation for that, but Native Americans were kind of just erased from that part of American music history. Like a lot
Native Americans getting a raw deal in America? I've never heard of such blasphemous ideas.